It appears that the price is consistently increasing recently. Celebrations are underway. Analysts are dropping their signals. What is the rationale behind this? It appears that the Shiba Inu community has been recently taken aback by the US government. Approximately 41 trillion Shiba Inu are currently in motion. Is this the commencement of the coveted bull run that we have been anticipating? Alternatively, is this an entirely different matter? Well, allow me to elaborate. Welcome to Dr. Crypto, your daily serving of Shiba. This is the spot for you if you're curious about anything related to Shiba. If you want to keep informed about all the latest news forecasts and stay ahead of the crypto industry, subscribe. To get more SHIB news, be sure to click the like button. Okay, today is actually a very excellent day for Shiba Inu. And I mean eventually, the price suddenly surged by nearly 2%, eradicating the losses from the previous 24 hours, after what seemed like an interminable series of ups and downs. If you are contemplating that figure and are of the opinion that 2% is not a significant amount, I assure you that it is, particularly in light of the recent instability. The past few days have been an absolute emotional coaster. The Shiba Inu appeared to be in a state of stability at one point, but it abruptly began to decline, causing alarm among its observers. The volatility was truly unprecedented, and it appeared as though no one anticipated the next move. Would it continue to decrease? Was there going to be another abrupt change? The market was permeated with dread, and uncertainty was ubiquitous. However, what about today? Today is distinct. There has been a thorough transformation in the ambiance. Things have finally begun to stabilize, and instead of another nerve-wracking decline, we have received a substantial upward thrust. And it is not merely a minor fluctuation. This item appears to be heavier than the others. The type that causes investors to pause and decompress for a moment. Are you familiar with the sensation of experiencing a moment of tranquility after a period of complete chaos? Today is a day that resembles that. People can now take a step back, consider the broader picture, and strategize about their next steps without feeling completely overburdened, as the hysteria that has persisted over the market is gradually losing its grip. Of course, it is still crypto, and anything is possible. Nevertheless, today is a unique opportunity for all individuals to simply take a deep inhalation, no urgency, no dread, only a murmur of relief as the Shiba Inu regains its footing and begins to ascend once more. The truth is, this price movement did not merely provide solace, it also significantly disrupted the status quo. One analyst even noted that the Shiba Inu is on the brink of something significant, as indicated by the charts. For instance, we are not merely discussing a modest demonstration. Shiba Inu is preparing for a significant breakthrough, according to him. The price's trajectory and the momentum it is gaining suggest that a significant event is imminent. It is akin to the tranquility that precedes a tempest, but in a positive sense. Shiba Inu may not be merely recuperating if the statistics are accurate. It is possible that it is on the brink of an explosion. However, you may be pondering, what is the genuine situation? What is the reason for the abrupt increase in the popularity of Shiba Inu? What is the source of this excessive hype? Well, when we step back and examine the broader context, it is not solely the Shiba Inu that is making movements. Additionally, Bitcoin is experiencing an explosive surge in value today. Bitcoin experienced a sudden surge, surpassing 105,000 after spending days teetering on the lower end of its range, and even falling to levels that alarmed investors. The current narrative is entirely distinct, and the entire market is experiencing it. And the rationale? Donald Trump has recently disclosed an unexpected development in the cryptocurrency sector. Once more, he abruptly disclosed a significant development, the establishment of a crypto reserve in the United States. This is a massive event. He clarified in a post on Truth Social that the purpose of this reserve is to stimulate the crypto industry in response to the years of assaults by the Biden administration. He specifically stated that this reserve would encompass significant cryptocurrencies such as Cardano, Solana, and XRP. However, this was not the only instance. Of course, Bitcoin and Ethereum will also be essential components of the reserve, he continued. In addition, he provided additional clarification. He is particularly fond of Ethereum and Bitcoin, but that is not the extent of his interests. Trump is scheduled to convene the inaugural White House Crypto Summit on Friday, and investors are already anticipating his additional remarks. But the most noteworthy aspect of this is the manner in which he is framing the situation. In the past, there was discussion regarding the establishment of a crypto stockpile, which would have entailed the government's retention of its existing assets. However, he is currently discussing an actual reserve, which implies that he is engaging in active purchasing and making long-term strategic decisions. Bitcoin has experienced new record highs as a result of the increasing discussion regarding the establishment of a Bitcoin reserve by the United States since Trump's re-election. However, the momentum was somewhat halted when he issued an executive order on crypto in January. However, this latest announcement has once again switched the switch, and the market is surging back to life. Shiba Inu is of course not far behind when Bitcoin makes a move this significant. The rise of the Shiba Inu is being driven by the enthusiasm, the hoopla, and the surge in confidence, and the price action of today is evidence that something significant is in the works. The issue is, what about Shiba Inu? Lucy, the main marketer for the Shiba Inu team, has an opinion on the matter. The Shiba Inu team is closely monitoring the current situation and anticipates that the U.S. government will consider including Shiba Inu Bone in the digital asset reserve, in addition to other significant cryptos. After Trump's pronouncement, Lucy declared it to be excellent news for the entire crypto industry. She is optimistic that the ecosystem tokens of the Shiba Inu could eventually be included in this reserve, which would be a significant achievement. In the event that this occurs, it would not only elevate credibility, it could also elevate the value of the Shiba Inu to an entirely new level. The reserve functions similarly to any other national asset stockpile, indicating that the United States would actively maintain and promote these cryptocurrencies, thereby enhancing their legitimacy. David Sachs, the White House AI and crypto czar, indicated that we would receive additional information in the near future amid the considerable chatter surrounding this matter. In fact, Trump and his team are preparing to convene their inaugural crypto summit in the coming days. And that is when we may ultimately receive answers regarding the possibility of incorporating additional tokens, such as Shiba Inu. No doubt, this has the potential to be significant. The inclusion of Shiba Inu in this reserve would be a game-changing event. Something that has the potential to cause its price to skyrocket to an unimaginable height. Do you recall the analyst's prediction from our previous video, which stated that the value of Shiba Inu would reach $1? It is possible that this will transpire. This is not merely another transient surge or a brief propaganda cycle. A significant number of individuals may become millionaires overnight as a result of this extraordinary event. Consider the consequences of the United States government purchasing and maintaining an extensive inventory of Shiba Inu. That level of institutional support would not merely elevate demand. It would establish Shiba Inu's position in the financial sector in a manner that has never been achieved by any other entity. Additionally, this is the case. We are already aware that the Shiba Inu is not classified as a security threat by the United States government. This was already a significant victory for the ecosystem, as it meant that Shiba Inu would not be subject to the same level of regulatory scrutiny as certain other cryptos. However, at this time, a new level of legitimacy would be achieved if the government actually implements the inclusion of Shiba Inu in its strategic reserve. This could pave the way for even greater opportunities. A higher level of recognition, increased credibility, and increased adoption could render the Shiba Inu impossible to disregard. And in the event that this occurs, consider the potential implications for all of us. A cryptocurrency that originated as a meme and has since grown to such a significant scale that the United States government recognizes its value. Achieving that would be enormous. It would cause a stir in all sectors of the financial industry, including mainstream investors and institutions. The cascading effects could be extraordinary, not only for the Shiba Inu, but for the entire crypto market. Therefore, if this transpires as anticipated, we may be witnessing an event of historic proportions. The kind of change that not only creates ripples, but also entirely transforms the future of the Shiba Inu and the entire crypto space. However, in retrospect, we should simply appreciate this pump for its current state. It is a secure moment for Shiba Inu owners, regardless of what transpires in the future. In fact, one analyst even noted that this is a significant development for individuals who are currently in possession of Shiba Inu. A substantial quantity of Shiba Inu tokens, 41 trillion, are now in the green, as indicated by on-chain data. In other words, a significant number of investors are now experiencing profits. This is entirely due to the recent price stabilization. Holders are afforded an opportunity to exhale when the market stabilizes following its chaotic fluctuations. And that is precisely what is occurring at this moment. However, does this imply that the Shiba Inu is on the brink of a complete renaissance and an even greater ascent? Not necessarily. Bearish pressure remains present. Additionally, the price remains ensnared beneath a critical resistance level that it has yet to breach. This implies that we are currently in a state of anticipation. The situation appears to be promising, however. It is not yet a full-blown uptrend. However, this recent development is certainly encouraging for those who have held their assets for an extended period. It demonstrates that the Shiba Inu still possesses potential and vigor, despite the fact that the breakout moment has not yet occurred. Currently, the price is close to a critical threshold, and all eyes are on whether it can ultimately surpass it. In the event that this occurs, the situation could become quite intriguing. However, what is your perspective on this matter? Comment in the space provided below. The day is over now. Remember to give it a big thumbs up. To see our most recent material, share it and subscribe to the channel.